Have you ever felt that pull between doing everything you possibly can to make something happen and then just having to let go and trust that it'll work out? It's a feeling we all know. Well, today we're going to dive into that very relationship between our own effort and a higher trust, all through a really powerful ancient story, the tide camel. You know, at the very heart of our world, there's a fundamental rule that governs just about everything, the law of cause and effect. I mean, think about it. A seed needs soil and water. That's the cause to grow into a plant, the effect. We work to earn a living. It's not random. It's a law that's just woven into the very fabric of the universe. So let's start right there by really understanding this principle as a universal law. It's all about figuring out how to live in harmony with a world that operates on these basic, fundamental rules. So what is cause and effect, really? It's this beautiful system where our actions, the causes, are needed to get results, the effects. Now, sure, miracles can happen, but that's the exception, not the rule. The system we're meant to engage with is one where causes come before effects. And what this really shows us is that the world is designed for us to actively participate in it, not to just sit on the sidelines and watch. And this is where it gets even more profound. This idea evolves from just a physical law into something much deeper, a divine instruction for us to get involved, to participate, and to strive. I mean, just look at how direct this is. Do deeds. It's not a suggestion, right? It's a clear, unambiguous command. It sets this core expectation that whether we're looking for success in our daily lives or in our spiritual lives, action is a must. And the stage for all this action? It's the earth itself. The verse here explains that the earth was made subservient for us, which basically means it's been made easy to live on, to farm, to travel across. We're literally told to walk in the path thereof and go find our provision. The stage is perfectly set for our effort. Okay, this is where the whole concept really comes to life. We're going to look at some incredible stories that show exactly how this balance between effort and faith actually works in the real world. So, picture this. A moment of total vulnerability. You're exhausted. You're alone. You desperately need help. How does provision come in a moment like that? Let's take a look at the story of Miriam, or Mary. In her moment of incredible weakness, right after childbirth, what was she told to do? An action. Shake the trunk of a palm tree. Now think about it. Could the dates have just fallen on their own? Of course. But the lesson here is so deep. Even in this miraculous moment, a physical act, the cause, was required before the provision, the effect, was given. And this principle, it goes way beyond just finding food. It applies to preparation, to building strength. The instruction is to prepare with everything you've got, to the absolute utmost of your ability. Your effort, your preparation, that comes first. It's actually the prerequisite for receiving divine help. So this leads us to the big question, right? If we're supposed to be doing all this work, where does trust fit in? Well, this next part is all about that beautiful intersection, that meeting point where our personal responsibility connects with our reliance on something greater. You know, this is a really common point of confusion. Some people feel that if you plan everything meticulously, or if you take a lot of precautions, that it somehow means you don't have enough faith. They might think, I'll just trust and everything will be fine. But is that really the right way to see it? And here it is, the answer, in one of the most brilliant teachings you'll ever hear. When a man asked the Prophet Muhammad if he should just let his camel wander off and simply trust, this was the response. It's so important. True trust doesn't mean you neglect your responsibilities. It means you do your part. You tie the camel, and then you place your trust. The two are completely inseparable. You know, sometimes the clearest lessons are right there in the natural world. So let's look at another parable, this time about a creature that lives this principle out every single day. This is such a perfect illustration. We're told to have trust like a bird. But what does a bird actually do? It doesn't just sit in the nest waiting for food to magically appear. No, it leaves hungry at dawn, it strives, it searches, it works all day, and then it returns home full at dusk. Its trust is active, not passive. It's a trust that actually fuels action. Okay, so let's bring all these ideas together. We've talked about the universal law, the command to strive, and these amazing parables of action. Now, let's put it all together into one clear, balanced equation. So really, you've got two different paths. On one side, there's this misguided idea of trust, which is passive. It's just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. But on the other side, there's true trust. And that's all about active engagement. You work, you plan, you strive, and then you place your reliance on the final outcome, knowing you did everything you could. So to kind of sum up the big takeaways here, first, this universal law of cause and effect is a real thing. It's confirmed. Second, our actions are the necessary first step. But we always have to remember that the final outcome is from the Creator. That means we have a responsibility to do what's necessary to reach our goals. And neglecting to work and plan, well, that's just not in harmony with how the universe is designed to work. Ultimately, it all comes together in this beautiful cycle of empowerment and peace. First, you plan. Then, you work. You leave the nest at dawn like the bird, you shake the tree trunk even when you feel weak, you prepare your means, you act as if everything depends on you, and finally, you trust. You tie your camel, secure in the knowledge that you've done your part, and then you place your reliance on the final outcome. Plan, work, trust. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Take a look at your own goals, your own challenges. Where in your life have you maybe left your camel untied just hoping for a result without taking that first practical step? Remember, the power to act is the beginning of faith. So the real question is, where are you going to tie your camel today?